So I've got a project where I'm supposed to take a model that I built in SketchUp and get a plan and elevation view that I'm supposed to put together in Illustrator somehow. So question one is, how do I get stuff out of SketchUp into Illustrator? And then question two is, then how do I manipulate those files? Because I'm supposed to use different line weights for the plan view. Let me share my screen. I'll show you how we're going to do that. I am in SketchUp here. There's my beautiful, oh my God, this is beautiful. It's a 10 by 10 by 10 model, so 10 feet all the way around, built actual size. Yours is going to look very different than this, probably better, frankly. Anyway, this is the idea though. You got a 10 by 10 by 10 foot model, and I'm going to try and put that into Illustrator. Now it says here in my project sheet, I'm supposed to put that in at half scale. So that means what I want to do is get that 10-foot model to fit. Half scale would be 5 inches wide, right? If it was 1 inch to a foot, it'd be a 10-inch model. But if it was plan view and I want to get a 1/2 inch to 1 foot scale, I'm supposed to use a 5-inch then square. So let me go back into SketchUp. I'll show you how we're going to do that. First thing I want to do is go to camera and say I want standard views top. You know that plan view is directly overhead like that. Looks good, but you'll notice it's still in perspective. I can still see this wall is getting smaller as it gets farther away from me. I don't want perspective. That's called parallel projection. Under the camera as well, I go to parallel projection and turn that off and snap. There's my plan view. Doesn't look quite right because I've got shadows turned on and all kinds of other stuff, but that's plan view. So what I can do at this point now is to say I want to export this as a 2D graphic. And what that lets me choose is what kind of a format is this going to come out in. I can get a JPEG out of this, and I could play around with a JPEG, but it's going to have all the color, it's all the shadows, it's going to be just like I see right here. I don't want that. What I actually want is a DXF file. DXF is a CAD format, and Illustrator knows how to eat this for breakfast. So we're going to get a DXF file, booth demo 2, sure, why not? And then say export me. And it says, I did it. Congratulations. So now what I do is go back to Illustrator. Here we are in Illustrator. And I've got a plan view here. You can see how I'm kind of fooling around with this stuff. I'm going to open this file. So File Open, or Command O, Control O on a PC, and find myself saying booth demo2.dxf is right there. So I hit the open button and I get this dialog box. This one basically is asking me, how big would you like me to wake this thing up? How big would you like me to open this up? Now think about this. If we said we've got 12 inches in a foot, how many 1/2 inches are there in that foot? There's 24, right? 12 inches, 24 1/2 inches. So that means I want to have this come in at 24 units equal 1 inch. Down to, so it's basically going to say, put this at half scale. Take those 10 feet that you got in there and scale it to 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch equals a foot. I know it's a little bit of math. I know we all hate that, but trust me, this is going to work. So we'll open it now, and poof, there we go. It says, I gave you a page. This is exactly what I'm looking for, right? I might find myself wishing, once we get a little bit further into it, I want to show you. There'll be another video on how you can do something like show the dimensions of something like that. So you will want something just a little bit bigger than 5 by 5 in order to accommodate that separate video. But here what I've got is I've got my Illustrator file and my page size. I can use my artboard tool here to say how big is my page. It says it's 5 by 5. Perfect. Now the only thing I have to do is to say, well, I'm supposed to make the outside walls of my plan view larger. They're supposed to be heavier. So I think what I'll do is say, all right, let's get into I'm going to select everything, select all, and then come up to my scale, my stroke menu. There's my stroke turned on, and I'm going to click on here and say, I'm going to make everything 1 point. Let's call 1 point your medium weight line. Now I've changed all of them except for I want to change the outside line to 2 point. I'm going to grab that one and that one and that one and this little guy here. I can go back and fix these guys later. But I'm going to grab these little pieces of lines and then say I'm going to make all those 2 point. And then you can zoom way in and go, yeah, that's good. The 2 point's working, but I'm missing a couple of 2 points down here. So you can see how you can kind of tweak that and pick those lines and make them just a little bit fatter and get that working for you. So you've got the heavyweight lines on the outside, the dark lines, medium on the inside, And then, as I say, what I'll do is show you how to make the dimensions in SketchUp, and in here, those would be light lines, as you well know. So that's where you would get the control over this whole thing in order to put that together. I hope that is clear. It's DXF into Illustrator. Open that file. You got complete control over the whole thing. Have fun. Look forward to seeing what you do with it. So long.